Yeah, you hear me right next to me. I would like to suggest that, I mean, just the fact that we got the most recent version of the MSA yesterday. I mean, typically, or today, I don't think I even saw the one from today. So I don't think it's fair for us or the public to vote on it tonight. I would like to see this for the next meeting. So
I disagree. We asked for the changes are made.
You think 24 hours or less than 24 hours is enough to review the document?
Well, I got it last night.
Yeah, I mean,
I read it twice since last night.
So in the Brown, I understand. Well, we talked about the Brown Act ahead of time. Typically, there's 72-hour requirements for posting things. Now, I understand that doesn't apply to supplemental agenda items.
That only applies to the agenda itself.
Okay.
The supporting documents can be released whenever they're available. And once they're released to the council, they then become public document.
So the purpose for that is so that everybody has enough time to review it and to consider what's in it. So I just happened to have a very busy day yesterday. I didn't even have a chance to go over the amended, the most recent one, until today at this meeting. That's not fair to me. A lot of people in the public are going to be the exact same way. It's not fair to them.
But what we were discussing tonight, or we're supposed to discuss, were the changes that we asked for in the original MSA, which Gary did give us a red line copy to make it easier to read those changes, but we did get the changes because that's what we were discussing tonight. We're supposed to be focused on tonight. And I mean, I know I got the email copy, of course, yesterday, and then the one he sent out this afternoon at 3. We've kind of gone through it.
Can I make a respectful suggestion?
Sure.
Respectful to everyone's opinion. I understand this is more of a policy thing. This agreement's a bit like the metaphor for Schrodinger's cat. I'm going to call it Schrodinger's agreement. Looking at it might change the outcome. What I mean by that is we have properly chosen to have a very public, as we should, process to review this agreement with meaningful review and comment. And what that means is, just as tonight, we've invited people to come up and identify weaknesses in the agreement. Where we agree with them, we've made changes, and thank goodness we've got a tribe that's willing to work on their feet, and they've worked with us on that. So, we could bring it back again, and we could bring it back again, and it may be that there may be some other changes that might need to be made, or there'll be additional discussion. What I'm trying to say is, I would respectfully request that you don't fault the process because there were changes tonight. We invited those changes, and we need them because we want the public to participate.
I don't fault the process at all. Actually, I think this has been the most productive meeting we've had in this whole process. It's been incredibly productive. So, I mean, I'm just saying I don't know. I'm personally, there's no way I'm ready to vote tonight because I need more time, especially to review the changes that we've made tonight. I don't think a single one of us is thinking at the top of our game at 11:30 at night. So the other concern I have, which is a major concern on my mind, is we have asked a few times for like an economic analysis of what this is going to do to the city. Excuse me. I am not that rude to anybody in this audience.
No, you will not. Thank you.
Now, there's a lot of things to consider. A lot of them are positive. Some of them are negative. I think all these things are real. This is just my list with my limited knowledge. I think we're going to have extra revenue come in, which is positive. According to statistical analyses, I've seen the bankruptcy rates are going to increase in Ridgecrest. We're going to see an increase in tourism. We're going to see either an increase or a decrease, depending on what the tourism level is in local spending. We don't know what that value is. And I don't know what is going to happen to the values in the business park. I don't think, I would venture to say, I don't think anybody in this room really understands what the net impact is to that and how that affects the city revenue. So, in my mind, that makes a really big difference on how this goes and whether or not we should allow a casino in Ridgecrest. Because depending on how the net income, the net effects of those things that I mentioned, we could even see a negative revenue to the city, even with the $400,000 a year. But we don't know that. So should we, as a city, be going into this agreement when we don't know if it's a winning game or a losing game for the city? I would like to see the city pursue a path to where we hire a consultant that specializes in this kind of thing, that can tell us exactly what is our impact going to be to the city. Now, I don't know how much that consultant would be, but let's look into it. Let's get a ballpark estimate of what that would cost, and let's get an informed decision.
Are we going to do that for every single business that wants to open?
We don't have a say in every business that opens, Lori. We have a say in this one.
Please, folks,
And
we didn't interrupt you.
Thank you, Madam Mayor. And we are guaranteeing them a monopoly in this town. That's a serious consideration.
I'm going to disagree with you on the monopoly, and I know we both respectfully disagree on that, but there is the word casino sitting right on Tommy T's building outside.
That word can sit on any building.
Yes.
I don't care what that word says. It's not a Class 3 gaming facility.
No, it's not. You're absolutely correct.
And,
but
and nobody
it is a
else
Class
can
2.
operate one of those in Ridgecrest. It's a monopoly.
Okay, and the California voters voted for that.
I understand. But
So-
I'm saying we are guaranteeing a monopoly. We have to have a say on this issue. We
I
cannot have a say on any other business in town. We can't keep relating it to other businesses, you guys. It's not another business. It's nothing like other businesses.
I think if you want to discuss the economics and the impacts that are both positive and negative, that it's for the budget discussion, and that would be a great place to discuss it. And I don't think not moving forward on the MSA, because we still have the land to go through. We still have a long way to go in this process.
Okay, so maybe we don't make the MSA contingent on this analysis. We go ahead and approve it, or whatever we do tonight. But I think this is a really important fact in the finalization of a casino in Ridgecrest.
I think it's absolutely worth discussing and exploring. I think we need to talk about it in the budget discussions, and we do need to look at both sides of it. I don't disagree with that at all as far as looking at that, because we need to look at the positives and where that needs to go, and the negatives and what those impacts and how we've mitigated for that. I don't disagree with you on that. But I do think we need to continue moving forward, and I think the MSA needs to move forward, because I think we've met our burden this evening with that. And like I said, we still have the land to go.
Yeah. I think that's reasonable. Getting an analysis done, if it's cost effective for the city, before the land sale.
What if we get an economic analysis, because I don't disagree with what you're saying, Jim. I think it's good, sound business to do that. However, if we get an economic analysis that, because obviously you want somebody who's going to go down the middle of the road and say,
Totally impartial.
and not say it's
Absolutely.
good because of this or it's bad because of that. What happens if the analysis comes back and says, well, gee, you can either be great or you can be bad? I mean, because they aren't going to tell us the future. They're only going to tell us what the impacts are. So let's say, just for
I
argument's
imagine,
sake, that this is the best thing you could ever do because you don't have any other great things happening right now to that property. This is a good thing to do. Or the other thing says, my goodness, people, are you crazy? And how do you then determine how do you determine what to do?
Well-
I mean, I think it does come down to good information, good input, good, but if we don't have a criteria to say this is success and this is failure,
Right.
we can't make a good decision based on simply economic analysis.
Agreed.
And
I agree.
I just don't know what we'll get after we get, again, I'm not disagreeing with you because I think I do agree with you. My only concern is, what do you do with it after you have it?
Well, Citizens of Ridgecrest did an economic analysis and was pretty positive.
I think a lot of things were left out of it, and admittedly were left out of it. It mentioned in there, this is not considered, this is not considered.
I think if we were going to do an economic analysis, we should have discussed that 6 weeks ago, not now.
I agree.
Well, we did. I mean, not 6 weeks ago. We discussed it. It was brought up in the meeting, I think two meetings ago, whatever that was. Was that 4 weeks ago?
I
3
don't want to
weeks
see
ago.
economic analysis without being able to find resolution. And I don't know that we're going to get that from economic analysis. It will give us more information, yeah, I agree.
Other analyses that I've seen,
I saw the
which
one
isn't
you
many.
sent me.
Yeah. It's basically a predictive analysis using statistical models to tell us what the net impact on
What
our
we should
revenue
expect.
would be.
Yeah.
I think a similar approach would be best. But
So you're willing to agree to the vote based, and if I'm not quoting you fairly, tell me, you're willing to agree to a vote based on the idea that we're going to look for someone to complete an economic analysis that will give us nonpartisan results?
yes, yeah.
But before we sell the land,
I'm not agreeing to vote on this tonight based on that, but before we do the land sale, I want to have,
Yeah.
Who pays for that?
the city would have to pay for it. Yeah, and I don't know how much that costs. Maybe we take one step down that road and find out this is going to cost way too much, and then we stop. I don't know.
Madam Mayor, at the request of the council previously, I already initiated a RFQ and RFP essentially for an economic analysis to be done on this project, and I'm expecting to get the proposals back. They were supposed to have them in on the 31st, I believe. So we're right there.
Awesome.
And I would expect to have them. And we asked two firms that we had in particular. One was Cosmont's Financial Group. They're in retail, but not in industrial, this area. And the second group was Beacon, if you're familiar with them, who've done a lot of work. They're out of Bakersfield in L.A. Beacon Economics. They did some work for the county and some other people. And so I should have that. We're starting that process.
Great.
We'll have that before, obviously, we present the land sale for information.
So, folks, where are we?
Can I ask a question?
No.
I just have a concern considering the content of the MSA and the description of certain payments and certain economic assumptions that are made in that MSA. And then after we approve an agreement, which will be a binding agreement, then we're going to do a report that gives us another economic analysis. Is that what you guys are looking to do?
not me.
I think the information, if I'm understanding, is to make sure that what we're looking at is not to go then and play Monday morning quarterback and say, oh, well, it looks like it's going to be so good and we're not getting nearly enough and we want more money out of a deal. Rather, it is more of a, we are doing the right thing and headed down the right path and we're not going to be damaging our city.
But if we're going to do that, if we're going to look for, are we damaging ourselves? Why are we doing it after the vote?
Well, I think the ideal situation would be to wait till we vote on the MSA and wait till we have the results on this. We've already approved the MSA in concept.
In concept, we have.
I don't see any reason to rush to a vote to this on the MSA now. I don't see any problem with waiting until after the economic analysis is done.
Oh, I see. You're making a difference.
I'm
You're
saying,
making-
Lori was asking, can we just go ahead and approve this now? I'm saying either way, that's fine. My preference would be to wait, but I mean, if the council wants to pass the MSA first, there's no reason why we shouldn't still do this analysis.
I have a reason.
Okay.
The tribes negotiated in good faith, and I don't think it's reasonable. You guys can vote how you want on this, up or down, or not at all, I suppose. But I don't think it's reasonable to approve the agreement, do the analysis, and then what are we going to do with it? Go back and use it as leverage to try to renegotiate the. I don't think that's, in my opinion, that's not good faith. Now, if you don't want to approve the agreement, that's fine. Or if you want to wait to approve the agreement until after you do the analysis, that's another matter too. But what I'm saying is just this idea of approving it and then doing the analysis, I think, is going to lead us down a bad path, in my view.
I think I see what you're saying, but I'm expressing.
And again,
my
I'm not
opinion.
trying to tell you how to vote up and down on the agreement. I'm just saying.
These are the legal impacts. I understand.
Yes.
Yeah.
To be very honest with you, I thought the request was to allow you guys to take a look at future budgeting. This would project you some numbers as to what our earnings might be and what the economy impact might be within the economy, so you can do some projections on your income side.
That's
So
exactly
you
what I
can-
just.
So,
Yeah.
That's
so
what
we're,
I
we're
was-
saying
That's
the
what
same
I
thought he was
thing,
talking
but not
about,
necessarily on an analysis of the good or bad of the project, but more how it will fit into your budgets in future years, and that can be done whenever you want to do it.
That's exactly what I'm asking.
That's
for.
what I thought. The
Yeah.
good or bad was a allaying of fears, but not a negotiation like that, because that's why we talked about it being in the budget. In my brain, it was like, yes, I want to look at what this is going to be so we can decide we need to set aside X amount in our budget for economic development and this and this and this. That's
Well, see, that's what I originally thought he meant until when he said that he wanted to look at the good and the bad. And
The good and bad impacts on economic impacts that would affect our budget.
so we know where to.
I apologize for not being clear. Yeah.
I'm not clear myself, so. Okay, where are we? Is there a motion?
I will move to approve the MSA with our language fixed now.
Is there a second?
I'll second.
Is there any other comments? Okay, vote.
Motion's been made and seconded to approve as amended with the additional language changes made tonight. Councilmember Mauer.
Aye.
Councilmember Thomas.
No.
Mayor Breeden.
Aye.
Vice Mayor Acton.
Aye.
Mayor Pro Tem Sanders.
No.
3 in favor, 2 against, motion passes.